Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. I hope you guys have all had a wonderful weekend. As we speak right now, Palantir Technologies has just broke above $60 in the overnight trading hours on Robinhood. This stock is showing no signs of cooling down. We're going to be talking about everything that's been happening with Palantir, gearing up for that next $10 incremental level, pushing past the 60s. Will it hold in tomorrow's market open? We're also going to be talking about what to expect in the markets this week. After this last week, we've seen a record, the best week that we've seen in the year for the stock market in terms of the broader index. All the stocks doing very well after the election results. And we're going to be pinpointing on what important pieces of macroeconomic data that we should be focusing on. Hint, hint, another CPI consumer report will be coming out. And we'll be talking about some other stocks like NVIDIA, Tesla, giving you guys updates and everything you need to know. So if you're a new or returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos. And of course, then a financial advisor collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now pop it up on the screen here. Palantir right now is trading at $59.77. You can see here at 710, you have Palantir that actually hit $60.62, officially breaking past that point. Now, will Palantir be able to hold this during the market open? Only time will tell. But let's talk about the Palantir story and kind of summarize everything that has happened. Because specifically, what we've seen is this immense run-up in Palantir up 40% since November 4th. And Jack Prescott right here on Twitter has a good post about just kind of simplifying and breaking everything down. This is why Palantir has really been on an exploding type of run. Now, skyrocketed up 38% since November 4th. That's an amazing run. You have on November 4th that Meta announces a partnership with Palantir. November 7th, we had that announcements with Palantir, Amazon Web Service, and Accenture. They announced a partnership to bring AI to the government and to the military. And also on that same day, you have Palantir that appears to have landed that intent contract with the Navy, a 5-year, $1 billion deal that will supposedly be officially announced in January. We're going to be waiting for that. And you also have on here that you have raising of many different price targets. Keith Fitzgerald right here raises his price target to 85. We're going to be talking about another article from the Street Analyst that raises theirs to 70. And you can see that Palantir has been on this incredible run. Of course, you're going to see a lot of analysts coming in here, a lot of bears saying, hey, when is this Palantir bubble going to pop? We don't know. It's trading at over 50 times its sales right now. Of course, Palantir is growing at a rapid rate, an amazing, fast, quick rate. The valuation is completely disconnected from the momentum that's happening within the stock right now. So lots of volatility, lots of risk assessment that needs to be conducted because that does come with it. However, there is, in my own opinion, still room for this stock to keep growing because it has continued to surpass my expectations tremendously. And if we look specifically right here, looking at these different traders, what analysts are all expecting, you're going to see more of them coming out saying, hey, the valuation can't be justified right now. We know that. What we're more particularly looking at is the actual potential for Palantir to continue on this run. And we see it at $60. Could it be holding above that and possibly accelerating above that? Now, Palantir, specifically right here, the Street Analyst had talked about, wrote on November 8th that they increased their price target from $48 to $56. Well, it only took from Tuesday until Thursday, 2 days, for Palantir to hit that price. And this is why we're seeing these traders starting to lift, especially the bullish traders, lifting their price targets on Palantir to $70 per share, just so they don't end up selling shares more quickly than they can put them back on. One of the problems here, Palantir does need some time to consolidate. Yes, that is going to be important, especially trying to establish support zones at these new all-time highs, but that's only going to come with time. And specifically, what he says right here is, don't let these guys rattle you talking about all the analysts. And specifically, for the bears that have been there, they've been wrong every step of the way. Really think about that for a moment. All the bears, they have been wrong. All the analysts that have continued to hold sell ratings and stuff and continuing to use, justification as the more value-oriented investors. This stock just may not be for you. Neither of these analysts have had anything better than a hold rating on Palantir, he says right here. In short, when you came to this name, Palantir, absolutely schooling these different types of analysts that are holding this bearish perspective. Now, of course, like I said, I think a bubble's out there. Will it pop? Sometime, we don't know. Not seeing any signs of that cooling down. We're even seeing Goldman Sachs right here raising Palantir Technologies price target to $41. You're seeing them being just raised across the board, especially with people that are holding sell ratings. So congratulations to all the people that have been holding for a long time. You can see everybody is basically up on Palantir right now as we speak. And also, Palantir rakes in $7.7 billion right here, as a lot of mutual funds are investing a ton of money, scooping up an immense $7.7 billion worth of shares in Palantir Technologies. This is after we've seen them, of course, at the inclusion in the S&P 500 and recording those record quarter third earnings. Now, talking about the strong demand that we've seen right here on top of AI, mutual funds betting big on Broadcom, betting big on Palantir, AI stocks across the board. We're seeing this story that's being repeated over and over again from many different index funds. Even these mutual funds coming in now here saying, hey, they want a piece of the pie. And that's exactly what they are getting. And talking about what's going to be happening in the markets next week and what two things could really drive up the market. Now, last week was already eventful enough. You had the election, and then you had the reduction of the federal interest rates, with the Fed cutting its interest rates for the second time this year, 25 basis points. Big stories right there. In the stock market had gained. The S&P 500 and the Dow both gained more than 4.6%, and they actually had their best weeks of the year and their first positive weeks in the past three. The NASDAQ itself rose 5.7% for the week, and you're seeing the tech-heavy index gain here, the strongest of the three, was its best since September. And you can see just the S&P 500 sectors for the week. Look at these changes and year-to-date changes. The market's been doing incredibly well. We're seeing shares that are continuously to grow. Specifically, what are we going to be looking at this week to continue this rally? There's a lot of earnings that will be coming in. That is one thing. But looking at the week ahead here, you got Aramark that will be releasing their earnings tomorrow before the bell. You got Home Depot, Shopify, Hertz, some big corporate companies that will be releasing their earnings. But specifically, we're going to be looking at here, Wednesday, November 13th. And that's when the Consumer Price Index is going to come out. CPI data does give a strong gauge on what is happening in terms of inflation. And I believe what they're expecting when I review this article is about a 2.6% gain in inflation. Yep, right here, economists, they are looking for an annual 2.6% increase, slightly hotter than September. So they're actually expecting to come in just slightly hotter. The core rate right here is seeing a rise of 3.3% on yearly gain. So I don't think, as long as we sit around those numbers, not seeing anything substantial on top of that coming in too hot, where the Fed may be inclined to kind of take back on what's going to be happening to the rates, I think we'll continue to see the broader market that does pile money into the actual stocks. Now, specifically, also, like we talked about, what's happening on Wednesday, you have the CPI data. You also have the producer price index, not as impactful regarding the broader market. Still, of course, some volatility that comes with that. You also have the initial jobless claims and the jobs report, and this isn't the official jobs report, but the initial jobless claims does give us kind of an ideology and hypothesis on what is happening in terms of unemployment, the jobs market, and the overall different types of indicators that a lot of economists are using to change their expectations. On top of that, you have Tesla hitting a $1 trillion market cap as the stock has rallied. We know that Trump has, Elon here has really been an advocate for the Republican presidential nominee. And you can see here, shares of Tesla, they climbed 8% on Friday. The company rallied about 29%. Tesla is doing incredibly well, more than $1 trillion in terms of market cap, including NVIDIA, along with Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta. We're seeing here Dan Ives coming out saying that the potential for this Republican administration could actually bring less regulation for Tesla and other companies, since now they are buddy-buddy. Tesla now has a scale and a scope that is unmatched in the EV industry, and I think this gives them the competitive advantage, because typically with more of a Republican type of philosophy and administration, you typically see less support, credits, and I want to say kind of backing of environmental vehicles and climate-friendly vehicles. So this can give Tesla a competitive advantage and a clear right here over the different types of environments that they will have to face. And also with their plan of increasing tariffs, this will push away those Chinese EV players trying to get into the US market at cheaper prices. That is incredibly bullish for Tesla. Let me know, what do you think about all this? Palantir, how high do you think it'll go before we see a little bit of a pullback? Are you joining in on the ride? Are you sitting on the sidelines waiting for a cheaper price? Peace out, take care. Have a great week.